Welcome back to Heart to Head with Olivia and Jessica.
Hey guys!
Today we're going to be talking about society versus people and how social media plays a huge part in societal influence and how people act and how, people are raised now and what they think about themselves.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because I think on a daily basis, I either say to my roommate or, say to you, even Liv, where I'm like, I am so glad there was not social media when I was a kid, because holy cow, that would have been a completely different ball game, and not a good one either. It would be like a bad ball game, which I don't even think is a reference, but we'll make it now. Bad ball game.
Very, very bad. That just made me think about not even social media, but just computers in general. And that I hardly even used a computer growing up. Like, I remember being in elementary school and going on my dad or my grandfather's desktop computers to play solitaire and pinball.
Yes.
I didn't even get into really using computers until I was like mid high school, because it just wasn't as easily accessible. And that was, not even including social media. It was just computers in general. And like now it's like everything is so accessible.
Well, it was so funny because I'm a little bit older than Olivia. We don't need to go into the details on how much.
As you continue to point out, you're like, I'm just older and wiser.
Oh, not even. I'm like, I think I have lines on my face that I never had before. And I look at Olivia's youthful, beautiful face and I'm like, yes, back in the day, back when I was in my heyday. Anyway, no, it was really funny because AIM, Instant Messenger, was the only aspect of social media that we had literally with social interaction.
AIM! I remember
exactly.
that.
Yes.
It took me a second. I was like, AIM. And I was like, oh, she's talking about AIM.
Yeah. And so, we had a platform where we could interact outside of school that wasn't talking on the phone or physically seeing someone in person. But it was interesting because it came about, I want to say, like mid high school for me. So you still got the teenage angsty because you had like the away messages, and they would either be like really dramatic song lyrics that you'd be like, I'm feeling a moment right now, and it would be like a sad 98 Degrees song or something along those lines, or NSYNC, NSYNC fan over here. But that was really what we utilized for social media. And then cell phones, we're still so new. So, just using very, very short words, or like BRB, TTYL, like all of those abbreviations literally just came from the fact that it would be like, you would be kind of like bullshitting, not really talking about anything serious or, necessary. I mean, it was always like, you would look forward to hear your crush come on your social, like on your AIM. Like you'd hear the door open and you would immediately pop up your buddy list. And you'd be like, oh my God, I love him so much. And then you'd hear the door shut and you'd be like, he hated me. He saw I was I am. And he got so mad and he got off. Or maybe that was just me. But anyway.
My mom had a pager growing up. I was just thinking about that.
So did my dad.
Literally, my parents had pagers, and I'm like, oh my gosh, pagers, man, this is such a throwback.
Dude, I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 18, when I was like an adult, like quote unquote, in the eyes of the world. I'm still not an adult now. But like my roommate, she had a phone, and she like, I remember just being, first of all, it was a brick. And she had it because she was working at the Burger King. And so, her parents wanted to know where she was. But dude, I remember being like so jealous of having a 4-inch, 5-inch brick that you could just, and it's interesting because I'm so going to throw back to being my age again, but now it's so easy to like type out words. And you used to have to press the buttons 5 or 6 times to get the right letter. And dude, if you messed up, there would be like a legit moment that you'd be like, oh, I have to go back all these times and re-click the button. Anyway, so I think what we're trying to say in a very long roundabout way, aka me trying to say in a long roundabout way, is that was the access to social media completely watered down and nothing compared to how it is for kids now, which is, I mean, frankly, terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying.
Jessica and I both watched the college admission scandal on Netflix yesterday.
On the same day.
On the same day, which I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Just what society has turned into, where this man, Rick Singer, literally exploited the system because he knew how to do it. He got kids into colleges on scholarships or on athletic walk-ons when they never played those sports before in their life, and also got them benefits from, you know, getting longer time on testing and things like that, just to get them into these colleges that their parents wanted them to go to.
That's what I also found very interesting about the documentary, is that, or it's like a documentary movie, so they have actors playing the real people, so but they do kind of like a toggle back and forth. But what's very powerful in the movie is they show kids that are either TikToking their videos or, you know, sharing them on Instagram. I don't necessarily know what platform, but it's them interacting with their fan base or their friends about their college admissions, and the velocity and the, you know, emotional turmoil that they're having about colleges. Like, I was even looking at my roommate going, we were never this enthralled in like, oh God, I have to be accepted. I mean, it sucked if you didn't, or if you did, but there wasn't like this, like, I have to be there. And I think there was that additional thing that people now do, which is so common on social media, so common on YouTube, is your reactions to things. Let me record my reactions so you can see it, you know, firsthand. And it's like, nothing is intimate anymore. Nothing is just like you're having an experience. But like, these kids literally break down because they didn't get their colleges. And I just, you know, I think it was because my mother was never, you know, you have to go to this kind of school, you have to be this kind of person. I mean, she of course wanted me to be a singer, so I heard that all the time, but I never heard like, you have to go to this school, or this is the school that's going to make you a person. And I think, I think it's a generational thing. I think it has to do with the parents that are, you know, within the generation right now, that are putting the pressure on their kids, saying, if you don't get to the school, you're not worth anything.